Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Spoiler Warning Podcast. This is a review number 814 with a review of Bugonia. I'm Christopher Schnese.
And I'm Stephen Miller.
And if you're joining us for the first time, the Spoiler Warning Podcast is a weekly film review program. Each week in the show, we're going to dive in, debate, discuss, and argue over the latest films coming to a theater near you. This week, as we said, we're talking about Bugonia. And before we get started, Stephen, is this one of those films that we basically just got to give our verdict and then go straight into spoilers? How comfortable?
Maybe. I don't really know. I don't know how we talk about it without talking about spoilers.
Because I think it's, without getting too much in the review, I think that this film is kind of one thing, and it's really hard to discuss the one thing without discussing the one thing. So it's kind of
yep.
I was watching it, and I was and I walked out of that theater, and I was like, I don't know how you even don't just start by spoiling it and then go on into talking about whether or not it worked for you.
I'm happy to start with verdicts and then dig into spoilers. I think that'll relieve a lot of pressure of trying to figure out where the demarcation is of what counts as a spoiler in this movie. Because I went in not knowing really anything about it. I was latest Yorgos movie, Jesse Plemons and Emma Stone. Word out of Venice is that it's particularly weird. Maybe not as universally beloved as some of his more recent ones. The general word was this one is gonna strain you a little bit more. And I was like, okay, cool. That's all I need to know. I'm booking 2 tickets. I'm telling Joanna she's welcome to see it. She definitely does not have to. And we'll see what's happening. So yeah. I truly don't know where the line of spoilers are. So let's just rip off the Band-Aid early.
Okay. So we'll play the trailer. We'll introduce the film. We will give just whether we're positive or negative on it. And then we will say goodbye to people who don't want to be spoiled, and then we'll go talk spoilers for the film. I guess that's the way it's going to work. So yeah, let's take a listen to the trailer right now for Bugonia, and then come back and do all that stuff.
Good morning, Corey.
Good morning, Michelle.
I believe every company should strive to form a diverse table, to empower people of different skills, and every time, what is it?
Skills and identities.
To foster a new generation of, okay, let's go again.
They want you to think it's you, that it's you who made this world. But it's always been them. All we've lost, all that's been done to us, we're setting that right again. Greetings. Welcome to the headquarters of the human resistance.
Where's my hair?
Your hair has been destroyed to prevent you from contacting your ship.
What ship?
Your mothership?
Okay. In the next 48 hours, the police and the FBI will begin a statewide manhunt. I'm a high-profile female corporate executive. I am crucial. In all humility, I can say that. Think of it like you abducted the governor, but worse. There is no possible scenario where you benefit from this incident.
That was really good. My pulse is racing right now. I've done a ton of research on this. You're killing our planet.
Alien fellas.
I'm not an alien.
You're lying to me.
What's the difference? You know this is crazy. You know this is wrong.
I know who you are. I know what you are.
I know you too, Teddy.
It's fine. It's cool.
All right, so that was the trailer for Bugonia. Basically, it is a story of a few conspiracy theorists who kidnap a high-profile CEO and all of the stuff that follows that kidnapping. Stephen Miller, brief, non-spoilery thoughts. What say you?
Yeah, so, I mean, as I mentioned, I went into this believing it to have mixed critical reception. I'm confused because Rotten Tomatoes is very high, but I swear to God, when this premiered at Venice, the word was like, I don't know. So I went into this without sky-high expectations. I was kind of expecting something prickly and strange and just like buckling in for whatever the hell this was going to be. And over the course of the movie, I went from like, I think I'm into this, to like, by the end, like, I think I loved that movie. This movie, it snuck up on me. Like you mentioned, it is doing one thing for pretty much the entire runtime. I'm going to say the question is it doing 10 Cloverfield Lane or 10 Cloverfield Lane? And I'll leave it to people to figure out what that, what those options mean. But it is doing it so well, and Yorgos is committing to the deep discomfort of these characters in a way that has a darkness that I feel like his big movies have not done for a while. You know, Kinds of Kindness had this, but I feel like no one really saw that like anthology film. Ever since The Lobster, he's been doing kind of bigger, more like absurdly funny, but in a, I'm not going to say light way, but in a way where you could imagine bringing a lot of people to the theater and a lot of them finding it hilarious in some way. This is like him just drilling into like real human darkness and then also tying it with these questions of what if they're right? What do we want to happen in this universe? And I was here for it. Like, whatever this was, it was a complete statement. And we will talk much more in spoilers, but I think it gets better and better as it goes along, and it goes out on such a high note. I just was like, hell yeah, Yorgos. You did exactly what you wanted to do. Ever since seeing Kinds of Kindness at Cannes a couple of years ago, I knew like Jesse Plemons was born to be in a Yorgos Lanthimos movie, and I am so glad that he got to do it for like a real feature-length film, because damn, he is just so good for the type of dialogue Yorgos wants people to give, the type of characters he wants to give, and Emma Stone steering harder and harder into her like weird phase, like her daring phase where she's willing to do anything. It works so well for this movie and for what is being asked of her. So yeah, we can get into all sorts of details, but it'll probably be more fun with spoilers. So all I'll say is like, went in thinking I was going to be like begrudgingly defending this movie in like an After the Hunt type way, and instead I'm like, I think that movie was genuinely great. I wonder how you feel about it.
Yeah, so the truth is, I don't fully still know how I feel about it. In a weird way, I kind of feel a little bit like, well, I'm not even going to do this comp yet because I can't. If I comp it, it will sort of spoil unintentionally, potentially. But there's another film that we recently reviewed where it was one of those things where it's like, it's not necessarily doing this stuff that well, but I like what it is going for and what it's trying to do. This is a film where, like, you know, we watch a lot of TV shows and movies where people kidnap people, and it's sort of like how does the person who is kidnapped try to either escape or intellectually defeat the people who have kidnapped them, right? Like that is like a trope in these, you know, stories with kidnappings is like, if you are a person who is strong enough willed, maybe you can like best your kidnappers. And then sometimes the kidnappers are just like bumbling fools or people that are just really, really adamant about the thing that they believe in. And I think that this film isn't the best version of that kind of story. Like, it's very one note. And I think that the insights it's bringing to that type of thought is not very deep or anything like that. And so you sit there and you watch this film and you're like, I don't know if this is just fine or if it's not concerned with this. And I think ultimately it is not concerned with being a good version of that kind of film. And I think that at the end of this, I want to just... hopefully people can, you know, the audio doesn't remove my slow clap. This is a
hopefully
film...
the deplosive isn't that strong.
This is like a thing where I appreciate so much what this film did, and I'm like, yeah, fucking good on you.
Yep.
But then also I go like, Also, the politics of this movie are fucking wild.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk about it in spoilers, but it's like, that makes me a little uncomfortable. And it's kind of like, you're really just watching a thing that's like, the whole movie is kind of funny. But then, by the time it's all over, you're like, yeah, I guess there wasn't a different option than to be just kind of funny to get to the thing that you're actually trying to do. So I celebrate this film. I don't know if I believe it is a work of genius or just like a befuddling mess, but either way, I'm like, you did a thing. I'm happy you did that thing. And you know, I'm glad this film exists, whether or not I think it's 100% successful.
Right. Yeah.
So
makes sense. So do we do verdicts and then just unveil the spoiler gong or whatever? Dive into it.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and do the verdicts for non-spoiler folks. So pre-spoiler verdict. Stephen Miller, if you're going to give us a must-see, a recommend with a caveat, wait for rental, or pass with a caveat, what would you give it?
I am shocking myself in going all the way to must-see for this movie, even though it should be a recommend with a caveat in a world where caveats matter at all. Like, this is a very squirmy movie. This is a Yorgos Lanthimos movie, like in the vein that he has not done since Killing of a Sacred Deer, right? Like a very discomforting ride where you don't know who you're rooting for and what it says about you, that you are finding compassion for people. This movie is trying to make you feel very strange. But I just think it achieves everything it wants to do. I think you mentioned it being just kind of funny the whole way through. And I agree. It's not laugh out loud funny the whole way through, but it is another thing the whole way through, which is squirm inducing in a way that I found delightful. It's maybe this is what people who like horror movies, what they mean when they say that they like it. It's I like the discomfort that he is forcing me to sit in for so long, especially because of the ambiguous politics and the guess I had as to where he was going, which, not to brag, wound up being true in the end. I think anyone who knows him kind of has a good idea what this movie is going for.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just think it is a great return to form for him, and I really enjoyed myself, and I'm glad that it exists. Is it my favorite movie of the year? Probably not, but I think it is Yorgos doing the Yorgos thing as extremely as possible, and I have to just give props to that.
Yeah, it's a recommend with a caveat for me. I'm not brave enough to just go full must-see on this film because I know, I got home and I told Jamie, I was like, you would hate that movie.
Mm-hmm. See, I thought Joanna would hate it, and she said she really liked it. So that is partly why I was surprised and rounded it up, is it seems to work on people.
Okay, interesting. It's just a lot to sit through and then have to accept, I think. Mm-hmm. And if you can either be not sitting through it and then accept it and then that works for you. But if you both don't accept it and don't like sitting through it, there's nothing this film has to offer for you, I think. So that's sort of my caveat is it asks you to do some work. And if you come along on that journey, you will probably walk out at least going I think I liked that movie.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So yeah, as we said, most of this review is going to be spoilers. So let's say goodbye to people who don't want to stick around for spoilers. Stephen Miller, if people want to find you throughout the week, where can they do that?
People can find me at Blue Sky at sdavidmiller or sdavidmiller.com.
People can find me at ChristopherInRealLife.com or ChristopherIRL on a number of social platforms. You can find the podcast over at thespoilerwarning.com, where you can get a bunch of the back episodes of the show. If you want to subscribe to the show, you can do so in Overcast, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or wherever podcasts are found. If you want to know when the episodes go live, you can follow us at twitter.com/spoilerwarning, facebook.com/thespoilerwarning, or instagram.com/thespoilerwarning. If you want to get a hold of us directly, you can send an email to fans@thespoilerwarning.com, or you can use the contact form on our site. Music for this episode will come from a track selected from artlist.io, so hopefully you're enjoying that. That music is playing now, and when we get back from this music playing, we're going to be in full-blown spoilers, so watch out.
Drive you insane, cross my heart and swear to make you mine. Then in my energy, I'm all you ever need. I got you on your knees, yeah, dying for it.
All right, we are back. This is spoiler territory. It's the after part of a review of Bugonia. I am going to pull out my calculator, type in a 50-digit code, and transport us into spoilers. Steven, where do you want to start?
I don't know. I guess we can just talk about what the movie is doing and the degree to which it is one note, doing one thing. Like, I've never seen... So this is a remake of a Korean film from the mid-2000s called Save the Green Planet. I have never seen that movie, so I don't know the degree to which it does things the same way. For me, it left me guessing the whole time, what is Yorgos doing here? Because there's a few possibilities, right? There's one possibility that he is making a movie where Emma Stone has been kidnapped by crazy conspiracy theorists and she has to outwit them. The movie that you're talking about, right? She has to outwit them, and all the twists and turns, even when she seems to be admitting anything about being an alien, will be revealed to just be her attempts at, like, getting on their level so she can outsmart them.
Yeah.
There was a chance that was what Yorgos was doing, and I like that the plausible deniability exists until basically the very end for that to be there. Like, watching him dance on that line, even if you know, as I do, that, like, this is Yorgos Lanthimos, of course she's an alien in the end. Of course the demented people are going to be right. That is the most provocative way that this could have ended. And I just Googled, it is how the original movie ends too. Okay. So, like, even though I knew that that's where it was going, the delight in watching the movie let Emma Stone be a cipher the whole time, I found really enjoyable. And it kind of ratchets it up in a bunch of different ways so it doesn't grow stale, right? At first she's denying, then she's fake agreeing that she's an alien in a way where everyone knows she's faking it. And then she has lucked into this idea of being royalty. And so she kind of goes along with that without pushing too hard. And then she goes full maniacal, but you don't know if she's just trying to, like, one up Teddy to get away. And I just found it very cleverly done the whole way through. So I love that. And if this movie had ended in the ambulance and her not being an alien, I still would have thought it was, like, I liked it a lot. When then she is revealed to be an alien, I was just like, hell yeah, you stuck to your guns until the bitter end, and I respect the hell out of it.
Yeah. So like you, I knew that this film could only end in one way, with her actually being an alien. And, like, I swear there was, like, an original teaser maybe that literally didn't show an explanation for what the kidnapping was, and was just, like, scenes of her as a businesswoman, and then, like, people chasing her around her house, and then like the pre-talk of the two guys before they did the kidnapping. But then I recently saw, like, the full trailer that we played in this episode, and as soon as he said, like, this is the Resistance, you're an alien, I was like, oh, she's definitely gonna be an alien, like, from the trailer, right? It was just one of those things where, like, it has to be the truth. And what's weird is, like, the scene that you mentioned where Emma Stone is, like, buying into their delusion in order to become, like, friendly with them in a way that potentially gives her the upper hand. The performance is great. The truth undercuts that performance, though. You know what I mean? Like the fact that she's just telling them because it's exactly what they want to hear is no longer her the character being clever. She's just telling them the truth, right? But
it's still clever because she tactically decided that the truth is what will give her the upper hand right now, right?
But yeah, to me, I don't know, there's something that, like, makes it less for me, like, because when it's happening, you're like, yeah, fucking get him, Emma. But like, at the same time, I'm like, but you're gonna be an alien at the end, so why am I excited for you telling the story? Like, now I'm just like, oh, is that an interesting story of an alien race, right? It's just
to me, the only place where I felt that kind of tension between the Emma Stone, who is making all of this up, being clever, versus alien Emma Stone not making sense, was when she is stalling inputting the number for the calculator toward the end. That was where I felt it a bit more strongly, where I'm like, I only know how to really appreciate what you are doing right now in a world where you are a human being who is desperately trying to get out of this situation.
Yeah, but if you're actually an alien who's literally trying to remember a 50-digit passcode,
or she's trying to remember the other 50-digit passcode that just makes his suicide vest go off instead.
Well, see, here's the thing, Stephen. This is a question the film is not necessarily asking, but did his vest just go off because he's an incompetent fool who built a terrible vest, or is it something about the transporter that exploded the vest? You know,
Right.
like when it gets hit with whatever the rays are that let them teleport into the goop and then wake up in their ship, is there something about that exploded? Like,
It's a good question. I mean, she was backing away, so she clearly felt like something was going to happen.
Yeah.
You know? So she had a sense. Now, whether that is because the transporter, there's a second mode that is the kill mode, or
Yeah.
whether it's just like she knows the physics, so she knows that it would interact with his vest. Either way, I'm not sure.
in your version of this world, it's just like an economical thing where one device is both a suicide box and a
Yes.
teleporter.
Exactly.
I mean, some would argue that all teleporters are actually suicide boxes.
Exactly. Yeah. You're just being recreated in the other place.
Yeah.
And in his case, he wasn't.
So it was a 25-digit code, but if you then put in the 25-digit code backwards after the 25-digit code, it shuts
that's
off
the
the second
decoder.
half, the reconstruction.
Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, so there's something. I'm not sure how much the original movie makes the plot very clear, but Bugonia like dances around a lot of details for a while. Like, for example, Jesse Plemons has motivations, right? We're in spoilers, so I can just talk about it. Like, his mom was the subject of some experiments, and they wound up putting her in a coma, making her worse instead of better. The movie doles that out very slowly, and it doles it out with like black and white fantastical imagery of her floating, you know, and her being stuck with a ton of needle. Like, I don't know if it was an acupuncture type thing. There are things where I still do not know what the true reality of the movie is. And certainly there are long stretches of the movie where I don't yet know, why is Jesse Plemons doing this? What does his mom have to do with any of this? Why did he pick Emma Stone in particular? And I can imagine someone watching this movie and feeling like Yorgos and the screenwriter cut too many corners. But I loved not knowing. Like, I feel like it works so much better when I am just discovering this bizarre alternate reality that this guy lives in, without having firm footing. I think it fits, like, in my mind, this movie, in a weird way, it kind of fits with Eddington as like an exploration of how it would feel to be like just mainlining internet conspiracy theories, and all of them are kind of real at the same time. And in this case, I'm like, maybe his mom was floating. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I don't know what true is anymore. You know, I just know I'm in Jesse Plemons' head, and I'm going to ride this ride for the next 2 hours.
Yeah, I think for me, like, you know, even accepting the idea of I'm pretty sure this ends with her being an alien. To me, the biggest reveal is like his other half of the bottom basement, where it's like he has been kidnapping all kinds of people and basically torturing to death, and also with the reveal that she is an alien, just that conversation about, okay, out of the 15 plus people that you killed, how many of them were actually aliens? It's like,
It's two.
if you are watching it thinking she's just a smart CEO woman, when she's asking that question, you're supposed to feel like she is telling him, look, were any of those people you killed aliens? And when he says two of them were, it's like, it's either a psychotic person who just believes that at least some of them had to be aliens, or it's really like a scary thing where he's just been like killing people, and then he's actually trying to get the aliens, but he's killing a bunch of regular people as well. I don't know. There's just some interesting stuff going on there.
Yeah. What I love about, by that point in the movie, because it would be very easy to frame this movie as, who are you rooting for, right? Am I rooting for Emma Stone to get away because she's an innocent person who has been kidnapped? Or am I predicting the movie going where we both knew it was going, and rooting for Jesse Plemons to stick to his guns because he's actually like an idiot savant who has figured everything out, you know?
Yeah.
And at this point in the movie, both options are off the table. If by rooting for someone you mean you see them as a good person, right?
Yeah.
Jesse Plemons, he murdered 13 people and 2 aliens, you know? But if you are in the other mindset of I want Emma Stone to get away, it's like she just made Jesse Plemons' mom drink antifreeze and die, you know? And I like this is what, and it feels weird to attribute so much of this to Yorgos Lanthimos because I know this is based on another movie and a lot of the plot beats are the same. But like this is what he does very well is he creates a world where everyone is like miserable, and then he asks you like, feel your human emotions. Go ahead. Try to make sense of it. Try to project yourself onto this like demented upside down world that I've created for you.
Yeah.
And it this whole movie is basically like the scene in I feel like maybe you never saw Killing of a Sacred Deer. Maybe you were traveling when we reviewed it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there's a scene in that movie where Colin Farrell has been told that to restore justice after he has as a doctor accidentally hurt someone else, he needs to kill one of his children or his wife. And so there's a scene when he puts everyone, like straps them down in chairs in their living room, and he puts on a blindfold and spins around with a gun so he doesn't have to know who he's about to murder. And this whole movie felt like the way that scene felt, where I'm like, you're definitely not the good guy. The guy who's holding a rifle trying to kill his family is definitely the bad guy. But I kind of understand the logic that led you to think this is what you had to do. And this whole movie is doing that for basically those ambiguous post-Joe Rogan, not alt-right, not far-left, adrift guys who just think all conspiracies are true and take matters into their own hands. Like, this is doing that, which is probably the politically uncomfortable thing that you talked about. Well, and I love hating everyone. It is the best feeling.
Yeah. So for me, specifically, not the content itself, but just if you do any sort of film nowadays where the crazy people are right, it makes me, the crazy people are correct. They are right also, but
yes,
the crazy people are correct. I just want to make sure I'm saying the right thing.
Right.
There's something inherently uncomfortable to me about that in today's modern world, right? Not that it's like, oh, I think you shouldn't do that. It's just one of those things where I'm like, there is no gray here. They're just 100. Like the reveal of this thesis of this film is, maybe Pizzagate is real. You know what I mean? And there's just something, the little dangerous feeling about that just always makes me uncomfortable when people want to do that. But it's just funny. Like the flip side of that is my favorite part of this movie is there are titles throughout the film that count down to an event that is going to happen.
Are you talking about the reveal that the Earth is flat?
Yes. You start with just seeing the profile of the Earth, and you're like, cool, it's in space, 3 days till the lunar eclipse. And then the next one is like, it looks a little off, and you're like, what is that? And then the next one is, it's just fully like 45 degrees down, and you're like, oh my fucking God. This is amazing. And I actually had a question. I had a question specifically for you because I know you have spent time in
flat Earth community.
Flat Earth. Yeah. I wouldn't say communities. I'd say message boards.
Right. Sure.
Stephen wasn't a part technically. He was like an infiltrator.
I infiltrated.
Yeah. So is there a counter argument to the like? How come all this shit with like, how come all these facts point to their thing around and then saying like, oh, but is the bubble on top of the table a actual counter argument to the like, these are all the things that point to the fact that the Earth is round that people in these messages use? Or is that just like it would be funny if she pops the bubble and kills all the humans?
Yeah. I mean, the bubble popping thing, I'm not sure. Like that, I still don't know what to think about that. I don't know if I believe that bubble literally surrounded the Earth and she popped it, or it's like a voodoo doll or something and she popped it as a signal of what to do in the regular Earth.
If we could digress for a second.
I want to believe it's real, then her transporter is her just becoming way bigger.
Yeah. I think it like literally like pulls her out. Like to me, this is like you know, the credit sequence from Men in Black, where it like zooms out and all of the universes are inside of like a little marble that two aliens are playing with. Like that's kind of what it feels like. But I was just curious if like it's like, no, the world is flat, but there's a dome covering it.
So that is a thing.
Okay.
The ether is definitely a thing, or there's another word that they use for it. Yeah, they do believe there's some kind of dome surrounding the Earth. I don't think any of that belief is what is helping them prove that the Earth is not round. You know, like a lot of the issues of the Earth being round are more like, hey, how come I can get to Antarctica from these 3 different ways? You know, show me on a flat Earth. And their answer is like, pilots are lying to you. Everyone is lying to you. No, I'm not going to draw a map. I don't know what the map looks like, but just trust me, it's flat.
Yeah,
like they don't try that hard to prove it. But definitely they do have some notion of a celestial dome or enclosed space or something. That is how it works. And the stars, I guess, are just like on that, basically. So what you're seeing are things that are attached to the ether up there. And that because there's no gravity or lack of gravity, you know, so things don't just float. They're like just hanging from the dome.
So I sent you a picture of a cocktail last night that I had during dinner, and what you didn't see, because the chemical they use to make the edible bubbles is that cocktail was supposed to have a bubble on it with smoke inside of it, but it kept popping every time they made it. So I didn't get to send you the photo with it, but like I saw that and I was like, oh my God, that's the table from Bugonia. I'm drinking the table from Bugonia.
That's funny. Well, speaking of water and bubbles, one of the core flat Earth arguments is that water always is flat. Water always finds level, and therefore if the Earth is mostly water, we are meant to believe that the water is bending, and that doesn't happen. And it's very funny because anyone who has ever blown a bubble knows that water can certainly bend.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, good times.
Speaking of dark plot lines, I just want to throw out there, happy for Stavros. I don't know if you know Stavy, the comedian who plays the cop in this movie.
No, I wasn't familiar with him.
Yeah, Greek guy. You know, he was the prestigious co-host of Come Town, which is not a podcast I ask anyone to listen to, but his stand-up is pretty funny. But anyway, his plot line is also real dark. Like, they just decide to throw in that this cop molested Jesse Plemons when he was a kid. Like, there are multiple things that hint toward Jesse Plemons is a typically troubled individual in our current moment, and there are things that caused that for him. You know, there are things in his childhood that made them extra difficult, and he lost his mother, and he is like losing his connection, his tether to reality. And then they're like, by the way, that guy was also right.
for the record, his mother's still around. She's just in a coma.
Well, I mean, she's not around anymore. Well, but then again, I feel a little less mad at Emma Stone now that I know that all humans were about to be killed just like 15 minutes later.
So here's the thing is, as the credits started, I desperately pulled up my phone looking to see if there was going to be a post-credit sequence where the mother woke up, because I was like, when he's injecting the antifreeze, I'm like, but she's going to be a real alien at the end. So what if that really is the cure?
Right.
Like, what if she kills all humanity and then the mother wakes up?
Yep.
That'd
be great. Did you recognize Alicia Silverstone, by the way, as the mother?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't recognize her at all. I was shocked when I went to IMDb and saw
what? Wild.
Yeah. So I do have to say, like, when I say that I loved the ending of this movie, I don't just mean the reveal of Emma Stone being an alien and then popping the bubble, though obviously that's great, like, goes out with a bang. I mean, I love just the montage of everyone on Earth is dead. Let me find, like, 10 to 15 different scenarios where people suddenly being dead will be funny to film.
Here's a question I have for you about that, Stephen. Because I also love the idea of it. The only thing I didn't love about it is, because in my head, my mind palace, she pops the bubble, and that's like the atmosphere and all the oxygen leaving the Earth. But like, we see animals and bugs still alive, and that just weirded me out in a way. Like, I know that like the alien species was mad that we were destroying our own planet, so it seems makes sense that we'd keep the planet and just destroy the people in it. But So there was some visually that communicated to me, anything that requires oxygen is dead now.
Right.
So that was a little bummer.
This is partly why I imagined that as like their ship control of what to do to Earth rather than literally popping the bubble of Earth. Yeah. Because they magically did a thing that killed all the humans.
Yeah. Also, how scary would it be if every planet that has life on it is really just a bubble on somebody's coffee table, and like one klutz can just trip and kill the entire planet? Yeah,
I could not be trusted around that bubble. But I just love, and like it just really gets to the heart of the idea of the absurdity, you know, because he's talking about like the absurdity of us living at all. And so it's like there's a couple having sex, there are people on a cruise ship somewhere, there are like people that are together working in a factory, there are rich people, and it's like they're all dead. They're all dead. None of it matters. Everyone's dying the same way. And it warmed my cold heart.
Yeah. Yeah. Trying to think of anything else.
That's all I had.
Yeah,
my last bullet point was flat Earth ? And you leapt ahead of that.
Yeah. I do. I don't know why, but like, it's not just that they were also right about flat Earth. It's just like the literal showing of the flat Earth.
Yeah.
It's so hilarious. And that's why I really want the table to literally be the Earth, because then it makes it even stupider.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Okay, all I'm asking is, what would a lunar eclipse be in the world where that table is literally the Earth?
Yeah. Is that when she stands above it with a stick? It blocks the lamp that's above.
That's actually really funny. That is possible.
Good times. Yeah, it's going back to what you're saying about like the explosion and stuff, and like how the film could have ended in the ambulance. The idea that like she can only go back if he's fully dead, because he can't see her coming back to get in because like she still wants to maintain the illusion that she's not an alien or something. Right. Like there's something kind of funny about that too.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. It is funny though, because I wonder why she doesn't just teleport with him and then they kill him immediately and then they kill all the humans.
Yeah. Unless again that it was like literally something about the teleporting machine would have set off the bomb no matter what.
Yeah.
Because, you know, she tries to like, oh, should I go first so that you know it's safe? And he's like, no, because then you'll just leave me here. And then it's like, oh, okay. I do like
it's funny because you want to believe in a world where you imagine she might not be an alien. You want to believe that was like a bluff, you know? She's offering to go first and she's desperately hoping he goes first instead so she can like lock him in the closet or do something else.
Yeah. That's what I was kind of expecting, is her to get the gun or something and put it into the handles to lock him in the closet. But yeah, talking about when she goes back to her office, also she throws the keys to the valet, but there's a dead body in the back seat. Yeah. Like he's not going to immediately see that. So I kept wondering, because she goes into the office, and I started to second guess a little bit that she's not going to be an alien almost, because I was like, why are people just like, is this just the joke that like clearly there's something wrong and nobody's doing anything about it? You see one person in the background as the curtains are closing run, like he recognizes it's an emergency, but everybody else is just standing around.
The transparent curtains.
Yeah. And I just wanted to know what the hell was going on out there. Like, what were people thinking? Was everybody just like, I don't know, this seems normal. Our boss our CEO has been missing for however many days it's been, and just shows up with a stranger who looks shady as fuck, and it just comes in and everything's fine. I want to know what's going on in that company.
Yep, for sure. You have to love too, and this is similar to I guess I won't spoil it, but our conversation about One Battle After Another, where it's like you have to love that Jesse got so close, and in the end his head got blown off and he never really learned if she is an alien or if he was right about everything.
Yeah.
He got so close and it still didn't happen. And then Yorgos just has to make the head actually like fly and run, like knock out Emma Stone. I love the body horror in this movie. It's great.
So what if the transporter itself has got like a sort of a contact situation? What if he did go and they sent him back and blew him up? You know what I mean? So for her on Earth, it was instantaneous.
Oh yeah, he got to have his mind blown. That would actually be great.
He had his mind blown and then his head blown off.
Yep. I love it.
Oh, all right. We done?
I think we're done.
All right. Go see Bugonia, everybody. Or I guess you would have already seen it if you've listened this far, but
I sure hope so.
Yeah. All right. Well, see y'all later. Hope you enjoyed this conversation. Bye.
See ya.